Hey and welcome to Sly Turtle Gaming ranks the Sly Cooper games worst to best. I'm going to be ranking these games based on 5 different factors, which are gameplay, plot, character development, maps, and soundtracks. Each of the 5 factors will receive a score between 1 to 10, and the sum of all these will equal the game's overall score. And right now Bentley is telling me I need to focus on the mission, so let's get right into it before I say something terribly rude over the binocucom. The worst game. Number 4 on our list is Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Now before you viciously grind your hand against the comments section keyboard, just know I believe this game is still a classic, wonderful game, and we wouldn't have the rest without it. But it was the first game made, and as such, there was plenty of room for improvement. Let's start with the gameplay. Sly Cooper was really the only character you got to play as in this game, which I didn't mind at all until Sly 2 came around and spoiled me like a teenage girl. Sly Cooper moved nice and smooth, he wasn't a clunky character to control. But he also wasn't very stealthy as the game would suggest. You pretty much bore your pantsless body in all its glory for the guards to see while they blew on their whistle frantically like you were getting a yellow card at your U12 soccer match. Then they would whip some gross pile of sludge at you or cut you open with a ninja star if you didn't clock them with your pimp cane fast enough. Some missions you got to walk around in a barrel or use invisibility to get around guards, but they still almost always got a blow on that whistle before you put them out of their misery. The bottles also didn't provide many useful skills once you wasted your time collecting them all. The levels within each map were long enough to complete, visually interesting, but some of them were infuriating like the Piranha mission or that chicken gumbo disaster. Oh god, and don't get me started on the crab level, way to ease us into things you sadistic sociopaths. Sly 1 gets a 6 out of 10 for gameplay. The plot was extraordinary actually. An orphan who meets some friends and makes a little gang to go steal back his family book from the miscreants that murdered his parents in front of him. That's a good plot. Throw in a hot Latina policewoman with a big booty as a love interest, and what could a simp like me possibly have to complain about? I'm just glad the developers didn't stick with that Chase Fox idea. The only negative I would mention about the plot is that it was very basic, but that's consistent with games of its time, and probably the best for simple-minded folk like myself. Plot gets 8 out of 10, character development, Sly was a rude, glaring butt-face to Bentley throughout the entire game. I honestly don't know how Bentley didn't off himself sitting in that van being degraded to such an extent. I mean, without Bentley none of these missions were possible, but Sly was always like, oh hey Bentley, you got some advice for me? To help me achieve my lifelong goals and dreams? Yeah, screw you wussy, just shut your dang amphibian mouth and speak when you're spoken to, got that? Meanwhile Murray's just sitting in the van pigging out the whole story, only getting out to find more food and engaging in high-stakes competitive racing for said food. Bentley has no character development, Murray has no character development, Sly is to keep this rated PG, a butthead of huge proportions, and the only development that progressed was Sly and Carmelita's love story when Sly broke her free from Clockwork's chamber and they decided to work together so they both wouldn't die. This game gets a 3 out of 10 for character development, and that's only because there were 3 characters in the van alive and breathing. The maps, you can take a light stroll between each green hollow Watsit as Sly calls them, but other than that there isn't much to explore in these extremely tiny hubs. It's a little bit better than the NES Mario games where you simply tap a directional arrow and land on the next level, but not by that much. Raleigh's map was beautiful, actually all of the maps were quite well done, but they were so small. Mugshot's hotel took as long to explore as his legs. What the heck man, I just wanna explore. This is what I play video games for. If I can't explore or you put some stupid stick in my path and block the way, I say screw it and I break the disc in half. But I get it, low budget, whatever. Just saying my landlord surprisingly did not accept the same excuse. Maps get a 6 out of 10. The soundtrack was epic. Right from when you hop out of the van at Raleigh's Island. Mugshot's theme was smooth and fit perfectly. Ms. Ruby's ambient music is still drooled over by most fans of the series. The Panda King's theme fit well, and the music that played during the battle between Sly and Clockwork was a masterpiece that barely escaped my top 10 list as number 11 all-time in the series. But I still believe some of the other games had better soundtracks. Soundtrack gets a 7 out of 10. So, the first Sly Cooper receives a total of 30 out of 50 points. If you want to see how this compares to the other games of the series, subscribe and check back soon for the next ranking video. Thanks for watching, Turtle Gang.